Hi there, it's Scott Adamson here. I'm up in Toowoomba with Student Life. Thank you so much for the chance to say hi to you guys at Wollongong Baptist Church, and I hope you're having a great service there this morning. I know some of you guys, but many of you I don't, so really appreciate the support and prayers of the church over, it's been almost 22 years now, so thank you so much to the church. Just to fill you in, give you some prayer points. Student Life is an interdenominational Christian organisation on universities around this country, and I work up in Toowoomba with a team that does distance coaching of student groups across the country, spanning from Perth in the west to Canberra and Melbourne, Sydney, and all up and down the Queensland coast as well. We call this our catalytic ministry of catalysing movements to happen over distance, as well as having full-time staff on the bigger campuses in the capital cities. Now, we want to put to students the challenge to consider, why did you come to university? Was it just to get a piece of paper, to get this degree so you can get a good job, so you can get a career, get married, have a family, retire, and eventually just die and pass your wealth on to your kids? Is that why you come to uni ultimately? Because it sounds in some ways pretty pointless. Alternatively, we ask students to consider, particularly if you're a Christian, perhaps you came to uni to get to know Jesus better and to make a difference for him on campus by sharing your faith with others and helping them to get to know Jesus too. So that's our challenge, and students who respond to that, students who say, yes, I want to be part of that, that's the sort of people we want to work with, people who want to make a difference on campus. I'll just tell you a story of a guy called Ruel. He kind of illustrates this perfectly. Ruel was from Sydney. He finished high school in 2013, and he went to schoolies. He thought, I should go to schoolies up at the Gold Coast, so he went up the Gold Coast, and he was hitchhiking back from the Gold Coast, and he stopped in at Byron Bay one night, and he was looking for accommodation. All the accommodation was booked out, so he went to the local caravan park to try and find somewhere to stay that night. And he just happened to run into a bunch of guys who offered him a place to stay, and they were some guys from Student Life on a short-term mission for 2 weeks with schoolies. And he got to know them a bit, and the following morning he left and thanked them. And they said, when you go to, when you go back to uni in Sydney, why don't you check out Student Life on your campus? So he said, okay, he'll think about it. Well, over the summer, he got into the University of Sydney, but over the summer, God was working his life. And he said it was a bit like he was sitting on the beach trying to put lots of interesting things into a bucket, but the bucket just had this huge hole in the bottom, and everything he put in was just falling straight out. His life just felt so empty and pointless. So when he got to uni, he thought, I better check out this Christianity stuff. And he met a guy called Billy, and they happened to do the 6-week Christianity Explained course. And at the end of that, after a semester or so, he became a Christian, which is just so wonderful. This is the middle of last year. And everyone in Sydney University, the student lifers, were just saying, praise God. And over the course of the next semester, he grew as a leader. And by the end of that semester, by the end of 2014, he actually went himself as a trainee disciple maker to a student life summer project on the Central Coast just north of Sydney. So in the space of 1 year, he'd gone from being a non-believer, just hanging out, having fun at schoolies, to being himself trying to make disciples of others. And this year he continues as one of the main leaders at the University of Sydney with Student Life, which is just fantastic. And stories like that doesn't happen to every student, but when it does, we say praise God, and this is really what we want to see, people being connected to Jesus, built up in their faith, and sent out to connect and build others. So love you to pray. Praise God for guys like Ruel, and pray for other students like him around the country, and particularly now, it's nearly exam time. Students are pretty stressed, and whether they're believers or unbelievers, pray for them that God would be real to them at this time, and they might draw closer to him. Also really appreciate your prayers for our family. So I'm married to Rachel. We have 6 children. India is in university herself in 2nd year. She's 19. So she herself is doing exams shortly. You can pray for her. Holly, who's just finishing grade 12. Eloise in grade 10. Micah, grade 7. Isaac, grade 4 or 5, I think. and Sophie just starting school in grade 1. So we'd really appreciate your prayers for our family, for Rachel. She homeschools our 3 youngest children. And ourselves, we're going to actually be going back to Byron Bay at the end of this year to work with the students there to reach out to schools. So I'd love you to pray for the schoolies who go to Byron Bay in November, December, and as we have the chance to connect with them. Thank you again so much for the support of the church and your prayers. We value it so much. Bye.